Hey everybody, Rusty Blackwood here. Welcome to my loft on this April 24th, 2023. And I'm here with a new update for Return to Autumn Part 2. It is going to be released the end of this week. Yay! I'm so excited. As you can tell, it's been such a long go from the time I first got the idea to write The Perils of Autumn back in 2017, and I decided that I wanted to do a story based on horses and the renowned thoroughbreds of Kentucky, and so I came up with Land and Lawn Stables in the posh vicinity community known as the Meadows, which is of course fictional, but I think that I managed to do an overall pretty good job of bringing Land and Lawn Stables to life, and along with the characters that play out the story for you in the three parts, starting with The Perils of Autumn, then continuing with Return to Autumn Part 1, and concluding with Return to Autumn Part 2. It's been such a joy for me doing this story and creating these wonderful, unforgettable characters that will forever live in my mind. And I hope if you read the trilogy that it will be a story with characters that will resonate with you and forever, stay in your mind as well when you think about the story that you're embarking on in The Perils of Autumn. You're going to meet Cyril Landon and Autumn Leaves, who later becomes Autumn Leaves Landon. You will meet Cyril's longtime friend and housekeeper, Agnes Harris, and you will meet stable foreman William Brown and head groom and trainer Manford Montgomery, and of course you will meet the infamous renowned Duff Taylor, the exclusive jockey for Land and Lawn Stables, who comes to Land and Lawn Stables in 1964 with a very dark, well-hidden secret that he has managed to keep under wraps since 1964, and it revolves around an unsolved racing incident that had happened at a 1964 race in Aintree, England, and Duff caused an incident that could never be proven that he caused it, but this is the basis of the secret, and he's not taking any chances of it ever coming to light, and he will go to any length to stop it from being found out or being revealed. And of course, William Brown, who is a very astute, down-to-earth Kentuckian who can really tell by the way he sizes people up as to the way they actually are. And he clues into something about Duff right from the very get-go when Duff first arrived, and he was being welcomed to the stables by all of the staff that were standing out in front of the stables as Cyril introduced Duff to each of them as Duff went down the line. And the very last one on the line is William Brown. And William he doesn't know what it is, but there's just something about Duff Taylor that rubs him the wrong way, and he knows this guy is not what he's trying to put himself out there to be. There's something about him. And William takes it upon himself to start digging into Duff's past and trying to find out as much as he possibly can. And of course, the further he goes, the more he finds. And Duff finally clues into the fact of what William is doing, and is determined to put a stop to it before more is found out. And as the story progresses from The Perils of Autumn into Return to Autumn Part 1, more is coming to light, more is going on. Duff is getting himself more involved and in deeper and deeper, and he's doing some unsavory things that he should not be doing. He noticed Autumn when she first arrived at Landon Lawn Stables. When she arrived at Landon Manor, Autumn is a registered nurse, and she is sent on a personal assignment by the local St. Joseph's Hospital in Lexington to care for Cyril Landon's middle-aged, terminally ill wife, Alice. And Alice has a rare blood disorder, and I leave it to your own imagination as to what that might be. I didn't specify what it was. This is in 1970. And so at that time, there wasn't a lot known about different diseases of the blood, and that, of course, there's leukemia. But I just leave it open as to, you can come to your own conclusions as to what it is that you think is wrong with Alice. But of course, Alice is been given a short period of time to live, and so Cyril sets out to make her last while as comfortable as he possibly can, and so he contacts the hospital and asks if they can send a live-in nurse to come to care for Alice, and it's Autumn that comes, and Autumn is 24 years old when she first arrives to Landon Manor, and Cyril is middle-aged. In fact, he's 35 years older than Autumn, and when Autumn arrives, of course, dear Duff, he never misses a trick. He never misses anything that goes on around Landon Manor. He lives in a very comfy, posh apartment that's located above the tack room in the main stable, and one of his windows faces Landon Manor, and of course he's forever up there watching what's going on up at the manor. And so he sees Autumn arrive, the cab bringing her there, and he sees her get out, and he sees that it's a nurse, and she's in her uniform, and but he instantly clues into this very beautiful, shapely 24-year-old woman, and a redhead, and very tall, and very striking in appearance. And so, of course, you know, his eyes are set on Autumn, and I won't go into any further as to what actually happens, but as the story progresses, there's a lot of mysterious things that start to happen revolving around Autumn, and Autumn herself does not know. And so William, of course, he, through his picking up on what he can, and he clues into a lot of the goings on that Duff is very, very quick to try to change the subject or put an end to any talk whatsoever that might revolve around some of the happenings with Autumn. And so I hope if you read the story, and I hope you all will, I know a lot of you already have read The Perils of Autumn, and quite a few of you have read Return to Autumn Part 1, and of course you're waiting for Return to Autumn Part 2 to come out. And so your wait is soon going to be over, and I could not be more excited and happy that this is going to happen at the end of this week. And so, cheers to you, Autumn, to you, Sarah, and all of you beautiful people on the other side of this screen. Thank you. Cheers. I'm drinking peppermint tea today. I quite like that. It warms the tummy, and it's just the day today is kind of well, I guess a typical April day here in Canada. We've had rain showers off and on. It is it's not cold, but it's certainly not warm. Let me see what the temperature reads. I don't think it's reading on the screen. Yes, it is. It's reading here 46 Fahrenheit, and so I still stick to the Fahrenheit scale. I don't care. I know it's Celsius here in Canada. Has been since what? 68, 69, 1970, somewhere in there, when it got converted over to Celsius, because that is the way it is in Europe. But when you're raised in the imperial system, like I was, all through school with the imperial system, it was, Fahrenheit and temperature, and it was inches and feet and pounds and ounces and so not centimeters and millimeters and all of this. I mean, I can do it if I have to, but if I can get out of it, I do, and I still prefer the old way. And maybe it is true, and they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I don't know, but I do know what I'm comfortable with, and I'm not comfortable with Celsius. I'm not comfortable with a lot of the modern technologies. I learn because, I have to, and but it doesn't say that I gotta like it. And so when I can have my own way, like on my computer here, on the laptop here and on the desktop, I change the temperature to Fahrenheit, and I know my way around a computer, and I can do a lot of different things with a computer that I never once was able to do. I didn't understand, and but through trial and error and perseverance, I've taught myself a lot, and through the young man who comes if I've got a problem and I can't figure it out what it is. He comes and helps me, and I've learned a lot through him, and so I've never taken computer courses. Maybe I should have, like at the very beginning, but I didn't. And so as time goes on, and I think it's like this with a lot of people, you tend to learn by experience, like you do with anything, and computer is one of those things. I mean, it's here to stay. It's never going away, and but the one thing that I really, I can understand, because if you're in development and programming and all of these different things, I mean, that is how you make your living, coming up with new programs and new ways and new techniques and all of these different things. But I have Windows 10 on my computer, and of course Windows 11 is been out now for a while, and I'm in no hurry to have to upgrade to that. I still continue to get updates all the time for Windows 10, and as long as that's going to continue, I shall continue with Windows 10. And I'm not one to rush out and get the latest thing that's come out. And I got a new cell phone, which will be 2 years this coming November that I've had it, and that was because I needed to get another cell phone. My previous one I had for something like 11 years or something like that, and but it was getting to the point even I realized, if I was talking with someone, the call would cut off, and trying to text sometimes was getting difficult to get the texts to go and things like that. So I knew, I probably should have upgraded a couple of times within the amount of time I had that cell phone. And that wasn't my first cell phone. I started when they were flip-ups. And I would just use a cell phone for emergencies, like if out in the car. I think it's great to have a cell phone because you can, if you have a problem or whatever, you have means of getting help without having to get out of your vehicle and walk, however far you have to walk to find some help, or if it's nighttime, you don't know what you're going to encounter. So, having a cell phone in that respect, yes, I was very in agreement with that. But walking around with it stuck on the end of in my hand like another appendage of my body, no, I cannot see that. I won't do that. And people that they are just so into it that they cannot put it down. They cannot stop looking at the screen, and they'll step out in front of a bus or a speeding car and not even realize that what they're doing. I've seen people walk into street signs, lamp posts. Come on! What is the matter with you? And but I guess I didn't grow up with this. I know my kids are always telling me, "Come on, Mom, this is the 21st century." But I don't care. You can keep up with the times and use them to your best advantage without constantly having to have your eyes glued to the screen of your cell phone, constantly on your cell phone, or even with your computer. Now, I spend probably much more time than I need to. But because of my work and what I do, it's done on a computer. I write on a computer keyboard, and I do business online, back and forth with different people that I do business with, and so in that respect, for me, I need my computer. Nowadays, with so many things, you really do need a computer because so many things are based on a computer to begin with, and you have to be able to correspond that way and understand what it is that you're doing. And so I don't know what else I'm going to talk about today. As I say, I'm just so over the moon about Return to Autumn Part 2 coming out the end of the week. And I've just been waiting for my official press release from Dawn announcing the release of the book. And the rough draft came to me today, and there was just one little thing in it that needed to have a change put to it, and then it's good to go, and so it can come out around the same time that the announcing the release of the book, that the book will be releasing on Amazon. I'm planning to release it on Wednesday, day after tomorrow, And because it can take up to 72 hours to be live for anyone wishing to purchase it. But in books that I published in the past on KDP program on Amazon didn't take a full 72 hours. Oftentimes, not even 48 hours. It would be available within a 24-hour period. So it may happen the same way with the novel, but it may take up to its 72 hours. And so I'm going to release it on Wednesday to Amazon. And then the official press release will also go. And then once it is live on Amazon, then I will be announcing that on my assorted media and on my website, rusty-blackwood.com. And we'll be doing another press release, a follow-up press release with the link to the book and things like that for anybody that's interested in going there if you haven't already checked it out. And so I've been quite swamped the last few days with reviews and people requesting reviews, and so I've been getting some great reviews for the entire series. But lately, up until just recently, they have been coming in for Return to Autumn Part 1 and 5-star reviews. And so to those who have been doing that for me, I thank you so much. And I don't know, reviews are very important because they help a prospective reader to decide if they want to take a chance on the book. And I think it's like anything. When you're going to purchase something, you want to find out about something, you read the reviews that accompany it to find out what other people what they think, how they perceive it, and if they like it, and if it's what it's hyped up to be. And it can help you to make up your mind about something that you're thinking about. And so they say that reviews are worth gold, and they really are as priceless as gold because of what they help to accomplish for a reader. And so I have just started having requests for Return to Autumn Part 2. And in fact, I took one already today, and a review for that. And once the book is out, well then, of course, the reviews then I will center them on Return to Autumn Part 2. And then after it's out for a while, well then it will be, the entire trilogy for whoever would like to review them. And of course the official theatrical trailers, there's one for each of the books, and they are available on my YouTube channel here, as well as YouTube in general. If you just type in the search bar on YouTube Rusty Blackwood, it will take you to my YouTube channel, and you can see everything that I've done. It's all listed there. And I did a 12-part, like just a very candid, informal series called Get on the Patio with Rusty Blackwood. That was back in 2019. And I started in the late spring, and it went over the summer of 2019. And I just talked about publishing, writing, and what it's been like for me since I started in publishing in 2009. It was my very first publishing experience, and and I put out 4 books. The very first one in 2009. It was the second came in 2010, and then two in 2010 and one in 2011. And so there was 4 titles, or 4 books, 3 titles. There was the first book was a poetry collection called Feelings, A Rhythmic Journey in Thought. And then I followed that with my first children's short story collection called Young Minds. And then I did a 2-part romantic fiction drama that was called Passion in Paris. And the first book in that was Connections of the Heart. Or no, I'm sorry. You can tell it's been a while. Connections to the Past. And then the second was Directions of the Heart. And it ended up that it was not the best experience. I didn't know really what I was doing at that point in time. It was very green, and no experience, and no one to help me for guidance along the way. And then I met Don McCauley, and in 2011, and so that was one of the best meetings I ever had. And I started working with Don, and he started working with me, whichever way you want to look at it. And so I finally had professional guidance, and over all these years, through the ups and downs and the ins and the outs and everything, Don's been there, and he's helped me and helped, guide me and help keep me grounded at times, and encouraged me when there was times that I just felt like, why am I doing this, But he always was there to give me a pep talk, and so, you need that. And that, as I say, that was one of the best meetings I ever had, and one of the best relationships I ever, encountered upon. And so, Don will be retiring one of these years soon, I know, and he's working toward that now. And I don't know if I'm still writing and publishing at that point in time. I really don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I've learned a lot that I've taken over myself, that I do for myself as far as different promotion and media and things like that. But I do not. I can publish like my Durwood Tug Bottoms, my comedy series. I have published them. Let me see, there's 3 of them. The very first one, The Misadventures of Durwood Tug Bottom, I published entirely myself on Amazon, and that was through when CreateSpace was still, that was part of Amazon, that was their writing platform. And I did a few books with CreateSpace, the interiors of CreateSpace did the interiors of my books for me, and so but the publishing of it I did myself. And Durwood Returns, Dawn and I did the cover for that one, and CreateSpace did the interior. And the last one, Durwood Goes Caribbean, I did myself. And so, it's experience that you get. I mean, it's not a huge, big, serious novel that you're tending with. And so I can manage to do the smaller projects. And I want to do one more poetry collection. As I say, I did my very first one was Feelings. And after I pulled my first 4 away from Ex Libris, who was the company that I initially started with, and And they were not too bad until they got taken over by Author Solutions, and after that, it was just not good. And I was not going down the rabbit hole with them, and so I pulled my work, and that was Feelings, Young Minds, and Passion in Paris, the two-part Passion in Paris, and then I republished a new poetry collection with Create Space that was called Impressions, and it contained the majority of what was in Feelings as well as new content. And I did a new children's short story collection called Through the Eyes of Innocence, and that contained a lot of the same stories that were in Young Minds plus new ones. And then I redone the Passion in Paris two-part into a one-part, which became a grand scale novel, and I named it Passions in Paris, Revelations of a Lost Diary. And I published that through Create Space. Don and I did the cover, and Create Space did the interior for me, and that I put that out in 2013, and so I was kind of told, please don't do that, because a grand scale is a very large book, and Passions turned out to be that 818 pages, and so I learned by trial and error, of course, and so when I did the follow-up to The Perils of Autumn in Return to Autumn, I was going to do that just in one book. And so there again, the page count ended up being well over 600 pages. It would have been another grand scale. And that's how the two-part Return to Autumn came to be, because I decided no, I wasn't going to do another grand scale. And so it meant that Don and I had to separate it, put it into two, and that's what we did. And so that's what turned the original Return to Autumn, that was a follow-up to The Perils of Autumn. That's what turned the entire Autumn series into a trilogy, and I think it's kind of cool. And so that's my update for today, and I'll be back in a couple of days to talk about the actual release when I do it, when I give the Amazon the go-ahead to publish it. And I'll have some more to talk about then. So I hope you all tune in when that day rolls around, which no doubt will be on Wednesday. And so enjoy the rest of your day. It's just going on to 3 o'clock here. And I've got an interview waiting for me when I get off of here. So wish me luck with that. And I wish God's blessings to each of you. Enjoy this, I say, enjoy the rest of your day. Please like this video. Please share it on if you would. Please comment it if you would. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until Wednesday, you all take care. Stay well, stand strong, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye for now. Peace out.